The last strike of the sun is melting on the horizon. The goddess of dawn, Aurora, rises to bless the people on this land. For centuries, people have been captivated by the majestic beauty of the awe-inspiring illuminations that shine in the night sky. Countless myths, stories, and theories have been created to explain the cause of the aurora. However, it wasn't until 1908 that Norwegian scientist Christian Birkeland published his groundbreaking theory outlining the connection between the sun and earth, which results in the aurora. Despite the mystery being unveiled, the aurora continues to fascinate and enchant people from all around the world. From the breathtaking views that can be seen in the areas in the North Hemisphere, to its symbolic representation of hope, resilience, and rebirth in popular culture, the aurora has become an icon of beauty and wonder, beloved around the globe. Aurora Borealis. Aurora Borealis is the name given by one of the great Italian scientists, Galileo, in 1619, who mistakenly thought the colorful dancing lights were caused by sunlight reflecting off the atmosphere. Translated from Latin to mean northern dawn, the name was an homage to the ancient goddess of dawn, Aurora. Over the centuries, it has also been known by many other names, including the Northern Lights, the Polar Aurora, the Polar Mirror, and the miraculous dance of the heavens. Aurora Borealis sightings have been recorded as far back as antiquity, and today they are mostly common, seen in the Northern Hemisphere, particularly in areas like Alaska, Canada, Iceland, Norway, and Finland. The phenomenon of the Northern Lights. The Aurora Borealis, or Northern Lights, is a natural light show of cosmic proportions, the result of the interaction between the solar wind and the Earth's magnetic field. This causes a continuous cycle of shifting fields and electric currents, ultimately speeding up electrons into the ionosphere on the night side of the planet. When these electrons collide with the atoms of oxygen and nitrogen in the atmosphere, they transfer some of their energy, which is then released in a captivating display of light. They are like moving curtains of light, sometimes moving rapidly and other times slowly. A colorful interaction between gas and plasma. The Aurora Borealis waltzes across the night sky, its beauty and vibrancy captivating no matter the color. But what is it that determines the dazzling colors of this celestial light show? Scientists have discovered that the type of gases in the atmosphere and the altitude at which they interact with the plasma in solar wind cause the hue of the aurora. When nitrogen in the atmosphere meets the plasma in the solar wind at an altitude of 96.5 kilometers or higher, a dazzling blue and purple hue is created. At an altitude of 241 kilometers or higher, oxygen in the atmosphere mingles with the solar wind to create a vibrant red aurora. And when oxygen is present between 96.5 and 241 kilometers, the most common color of the Northern Lights, a stunning green, is produced. Aurora's expedition to the cosmos. Have you ever wondered if you can see the Aurora Borealis from space? It turns out that the answer is yes. Astronauts aboard the International Space Station have even reported witnessing the Northern Lights many times. The Aurora Borealis is usually seen from Earth at an altitude of between 90 and 130 kilometers. But the International Space Station orbits at 408 kilometers, giving the astronauts a perfect view of the spectacular lights. But the Aurora Borealis isn't just limited to Earth. It can also be found on Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Interestingly, the gaseous planets like Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune are mainly composed of hydrogen, making their auroras extremely bright and visible in ultraviolet light. So, who's up for an aurora expedition to Saturn? A celestial crown of light. During the peak of aurora activity, the aurora might appear in zenith as a narrow band and then diffuse to a wider and spectacular display that covers the sky like a crown. This is known as corona. Sometimes it looks like a butterfly or an angel. Deciphering the Aurora Borealis noise. Did you know some people hear aurora, and there's a case where a microphone detected the sound associated with aurora? Many people hear whooshing and crackling noises when there is an aurora in the sky. According to the scientists, the upper atmosphere where the aurora occurs is too thin for sound waves to travel, and thus it would take 5 minutes to reach the ground. But there are also theories claiming that the aurora sound doesn't exist. It is actually coming from overstimulated visual centers of the brain. The mystical aurora, legends of the sky. Humans have been fascinated by the aurora for thousands of years, and evidence of this can be traced back to 30,000 years ago, with cave paintings believed to depict the phenomenon. Different cultures around the world have their own unique fables and tales connected to the aurora, such as the North American Inuits named the aurora Aksarnit, or football players. They perceive the aurora as the spirits of the dead playing football with the head of a walrus. In Scandinavia, the fishing communities referred to the northern lights as silblixt, or herring flash, as they believed the lights were caused by a large herring shoal in the ocean, and that it was a sign of a good haul to come. Aurora has been a normal phenomenon for people living in Aurora Oval, like Northern Europe, Alaska, Russia, and Canada. Therefore, the mythology and legends are common in these areas. However, less common sightings have been reported in China and Japan, which have their own unique beliefs. In China, it is said that the aurora is a fight between two dragons, one good and one evil. In Japan, it is thought that a baby born under an aurora will be gifted with beauty, intelligence, and luck. Geomagnetic storm's impact. This image was photographed during a G2 geomagnetic storm in Bollingen, Norway on 27 September 2016. This was the 10th strongest geomagnetic storm of 2016, and while it provides photographers and aurora chasers with a thrilling opportunity to capture its beauty, the consequences can be devastating. In the worst-case scenario, geomagnetic storms can cost up to $1 trillion due to power system failure, spacecraft failure, satellite navigation failure, and a high-frequency communication blackout. The stunning aurora of 1859, known as the Carrington event, was the strongest solar storm of the past 500 years, resulting in many telegraph lines in North America being non-functional. But if the same solar storm occurred today, it could cause damage to power grids, satellite communications, and GPS systems with an estimated cost of $1 to $2 trillion US. No matter where we are in the world, the breathtaking beauty of the aurora lights in the night sky reminds us of our connection to the natural world. Over time, many aspects of this phenomenon have been revealed, yet the experience of seeing the aurora still evokes a sense of wonder. The aurora is a reminder that we are all part of the same universe, sharing in its magnificence and beauty.